What's up, guys? Brian Grant here, and today I just want to talk a little bit about the events that I attended that Kabam was throwing for their game, Marvel Contest of Champions. So I went to both New York City Comic Con and the community party, which was held the same weekend of Comic Con, but it was in like a this completely separate location. You didn't need to buy a ticket or anything; it was completely free to get into. And I didn't know what to expect for either of these things, and I wasn't sure if I was going to go. And I guess the too long didn't watch version of this video is if you're hesitating about going, if you're thinking, oh, it might not be worth it, don't hesitate. Just go. Just, get a ticket. Whatever you need to do, show up, man. You're going to have a good time. So I went to Comic-Con first. So let's start there. And I didn't know what to expect. I've never been to a Comic-Con, period. And, I kept seeing on their forums that they wanted people to come check out their booth, come stop by our booth. We're going to have this and this at our booth. And the whole time I'm thinking, like, booth, what, like a carnival booth? Like, is it going to be like Kabam, Mike, and Adora sitting on top of a dunk tank, and you get to dunk them? Like, that'd be pretty cool. But sadly, they didn't have that. Maybe next time, guys. But they did have a lot of cool stuff there. The first thing you notice is this massive prize wheel, and it actually has some really good prizes on it. Like there was units on it, right? And if they said on their forums ahead of time that there was going to be units on the prize wheel, I'd think like 500 units, 1,000 units. 1,000 units would actually be really good, if they had that. But I don't think they're gonna have 1,000. And they had 2,500 units on their prize wheel. So yeah, that gives you some idea of the kind of stuff you can get if you go. But of course, you don't get to just spin the wheel without checking out some of the stuff they have to offer at their booth. Everything was completely free, by the way. You got to spin the wheel for free. All you had to do was kind of check out the different things they had set up at their booth. So, of course, some of you saw I made a video with Seaton Man of Legends. Huge shout out to Callie for making that possible, by the way. I was kind of just awkwardly standing around, and she came up to me and was willing to give me a tour around the whole thing. And it's not like she did that because I have X amount of subscribers on my YouTube channel, anything like that. Up until that video, none of you even saw my face, so she was just doing that because Kabam's actually really nice. So, you know what, let me take a little detour here, and instead of talking about their booth, I just want to talk about the Kabam people in general, and then we'll get back to the prizes and stuff they were giving out and everything. So everyone at Kabam was super nice, which isn't surprising because they're from Canada, so I think being nice is just kind of what they're all about. But Kabam, Mike, and Adora are the two big names that you will see on the forums, and both of them were there. Both of them extremely nice, and I just got to say, like, if you're not cool with Kabam, Mike, and Adora, then you're not cool with me. You could just unsubscribe right now, This is a moment of deep regret. Please do not unsubscribe from me. But seriously, both of them are extremely nice, and it's kind of a shame that part of the video that I did with Seaton where I first met Kabam Mike, it was just kind of a weird introduction. That's all it was. Because I went up to him and I was like, Kabam Mike, you're Kabam Mike. You take more crap than anyone on the forums. And I'm recording and everything. So he kind of explained it later on that it was just he didn't know what to expect, and I'll show you what I mean.
What's the most unexpected thing? When you started that, I was like, where is this going to go?
Yeah. Actually, the first thing that happened once I got to the party later on that weekend was Kabam Mike was like, hey, I saw that video you did with Seaton. Make sure you let him know that I actually do like his videos. And, that's kind of what he meant by what he said. He was familiar with your channel, Seaton. So I actually never told you that, buddy. So I'm sorry, man. But he likes your stuff. A lot of people at Kabam, they watch your videos. So, yeah, they're definitely familiar with your channel in a good way. But anyway, back to Comic-Con. So, yeah, Kabam Mike, he was like running around getting me things. He saw that I was only there for the one day and wanted to make sure that I got to meet Adora too. So he ran off and got Adora. And then, the three of us, we had a pretty long conversation. And of course, one of the things that I wanted to talk with them about is just the YouTube community and that kind of thing. And they actually gave some pretty promising information. Nothing that's worth sharing here, but just the way they talked, you could tell that they actually did care about us. They named quite a few different YouTubers, actually, so they definitely are aware of all the different cool videos that we're making. So yeah, that was just really cool to hear that they actually do watch our videos. But enough about the community team, because they weren't the only ones there. You also got a chance to meet the game developers themselves. There was, I don't know, like 5 or 6 different game developers there, maybe more. Unfortunately, I didn't even get a chance to meet all of them. But I did get a chance to talk with the Quest developers a little bit. I got a chance to talk with the game director, the art director. Actually, those two are the two that I talked to the most. They were both really cool. Share a lot of information. And what's really cool about talking to the developers face to face is you can get a little bit more information out of them than you otherwise could if you were to, maybe just ask a question on the forums. On the forums, they can kind of just tell you like, nothing official at this time. It's something we're looking into, something like that, and they might have somewhat similar answers in person because, yeah, they don't want to spoil everything that's coming in the future. They don't know what's going to make it past their kind of development process into the actual game for us to check out. So, if you ask them, what's the deal with Punisher? Is he ever going to get updated? They might say, nothing official at this time. And then you could be like, well, unofficially, blink twice if you guys are working on a Punisher update. So you can get a little bit more information there, and nothing is official, but it's just cool to hear that they are interested in certain areas of the game than they might not always lead on to on the forums. What's also really cool is just hearing just how passionate they are about the game and the Marvel universe in general. If you talk 5 minutes with the art director, man, you could just tell how into Marvel just in general he is. He told me that he's done a few of the cover arts for some of the comics. He's big into the comics and all that stuff, so that was really cool to hear. If you talk to the game director, he was able to share some cool stories. Maybe if you meet him, maybe ask him about how he got his Rocket Raccoon. It's a pretty interesting story, but of course that's his story, so I'm not going to tell it. And yeah, it was just really cool meeting them in general, so that was awesome. But back to the prizes, because I know that's what you guys are actually here for. You want to know what can you get if you attend Comic-Con. And I already showed you the wheel, but I didn't tell you how you can get to spin the wheel, and I didn't tell you what else you can get while you're there. So, all right, how you can spin the wheel is you got these tokens, right? And the tokens were used to put in these gumball machines, and you get these little plastic balls, and they have these toy crystals in them. They're the same crystals that we get in game. They were just made in like a physical toy form. It's just pretty cool in itself. But in some of the plastic balls that have the crystals in them, there's also these tickets, and the tickets, if you got one of the tickets, you got a trip to the wheel. So it was a little bit luck-based, but it really wasn't too bad because they had to keep refilling these machines, and you could see them refilling the machines, and I don't know the exact ratio of tickets to no tickets, but it was pretty high. Like, I almost want to say every other ball had a ticket in it, and you got multiple chances to get these balls, so yeah, if you were there for almost any time at all, you were getting a trip to the wheel. Not only that, but if you didn't like the luck-based part of it, if you beat their boss challenge, you got an automatic trip to the wheel. And then the other ways you get coins were really easy. Like, you showed them that you have an account. Just like open up your phone, log into the game. Doesn't matter what level you are, you get a coin. Take a picture at their little photo booth that they had set up. You get a coin. They weren't making it hard to get a chance to spin the wheel, right? They just wanted you to check out their stuff. That's it. They were also giving out some other things while you were there. They gave out like these little tattoos. They had magnets. Some other things that I'll show in the pictures here as I talk. But yeah, that stuff was really cool. It's nothing like that. I mean, that stuff is not why you're going to Comic-Con, right? It's the little things like that, but it's just a nice touch. That's about it for Comic-Con. I'm sure there's a couple things that I'm forgetting, but overall it's just a very good time getting a chance to talk with the community teams, the development teams, getting all the free stuff they were giving away. It's just fun. But now I do want to spend some time talking about the community party, because the party was actually, in my opinion, even better than Comic-Con itself, which is crazy because I had no expectations for this party. I was thinking, like, this is going to be a terrible mistake. So, like, to be completely honest, I thought it was going to be a waste of time to go. What could there possibly be at a community party for this mobile game that we're playing? As good as the game is, I play the game because I like the game, not because I wanted to go to some party. But it was so good. It was so much fun. They rented out this place that was just a few blocks away from from Comic-Con, and it was completely separate. It was completely free to get into. Free drinks. There was free food there. Everything was just completely free. And probably the coolest part about the community party was inside of the place that they rented out. There was 2 levels, right? And if you go upstairs, their entire wall was just one of those big white walls, and they had markers everywhere. And you go up there, and the first thing I see is the art director. And this guy, he told me when I was at Comic-Con, he told me that he spends most of his free time just drawing. He just loves to draw. He draws these Marvel characters just for fun, right? And of course, what do I see? I see him, just like whip out a marker and just doing one of these like almost magician-like moves on the wall, and just boom, like 5 minutes later, there's Gambit, So, yeah, that was really cool to see. And then on the lower level, they had these papers set up, and this was just in like the little hallway area, and it was the same thing, except instead of white walls, it was just these papers they had set up, and they just kept like putting up new papers as they were getting drawn on, stuff like that. And in this hallway, I start drawing Deadpool, and I've never drawn Deadpool before. I'm not, I don't spend that much time drawing in general, so I'm not that good of an artist. But the art director comes over and he's like, "What are you drawing?" I'm like, "Deadpool." He's like, "Okay, cool. I'll draw one with you." Like, where else can you go that can actually happen, right? And there was actually some really good artists there too, other than the people at Kabam. So you could see this Spider-Man here. This was drawn by my boy Drew that I met at the party. And I actually have a story about Drew that we're going to get to in a little bit, but you could see this awesome Spider-Man that he did. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to talk to some of the other people there that were doing some of the better drawings. Otherwise, I would have given them a shout out as well. All right, this video is getting a little bit on the long side, so I'm just going to cut to the end and tell you guys what was probably the perfect way to close out the night. And it involves Drew, who did the Spider-Man art. Drew was at Comic-Con also, and he just happened to win one of the 5-star crystals. The 5-star crystal was like a limited prize for the prize wheel. It wasn't on for every spin. They just kind of gave out a certain number of fully formed 5-star crystals throughout Comic-Con. And Drew was lucky enough to win one of these fully formed 5-star crystals. And at the party, we're talking a little bit about which champion that he wants to see from the crystal, which ones he does not want to see. It's kind of the same thing I do in my videos. And before you know it, there's like 50 of us all standing around him because he's getting ready to open up this crystal. Somebody had to go tell the DJ to lower the volume so that we can all hear exactly what he gets and everything. And as he's spinning the crystal, we're all like chanting for different heroes and stuff like that. And it's crazy. Like I don't know what to say. It's indescribable. Like the crystal opening videos, they're pretty cool. They're entertaining, right? But being there and everybody's just like going nuts for this 5-star opening, oh man, it was crazy. It was really crazy. So that was the perfect way to end the night. And yeah, it was a really good time. I really hope that Kabam throws more parties like this because I'll definitely go to as many as I possibly can. It was just an awesome time. So huge thank you to Kabam because they did not have to do everything that they did. Having a booth at Comic-Con, that's one thing, but I don't even know if they got any sleep all weekend because not only while they were at Comic-Con, talking to thousands of people, they were also on their forums, still answering questions. They were still responding to people on Twitter. And then on Saturday night, which is probably the busiest night of Comic-Con, if I had to guess, somehow after that whole crazy day, they were able to host a really crazy party at night in a separate location, completely free. So it's pretty nuts when you actually piece it out and think of it that way. And this video really doesn't do the whole thing justice. You kind of have to be there in person. So again, if you are thinking about going, don't hesitate. Just go. Whatever you need to do, whatever tickets you need to get, clear up your schedule, take off from work, whatever you need to do, just go. It'll be worth it, all right? And yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Oh, I just want to give a couple quick shout-outs before I close out this video. Kid69 I met at Comic-Con, and me and him were kind of trying to squeeze out as much information out of the devs as possible. And then also Terrell, who I met at the after party, the community party, and I didn't get his in-game name, but he was the first person ever to come up to me and say they recognized me from a video, that he saw the video I did with Seaton. And then, of course, Drew, who I already showed you his Spider-Man work, but definitely go check him out on Instagram. There's a possibility that he's going to help me out on some of my channel art and some other things like that. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.